Allie Henry here again with Speedway 360. And now this is an interview I really wanted. I saw that Ricky Thornton Sr. was going to be running the tour, and I was like, oh, I got to talk to these guys. I'm sure everyone would love for me to ask Ricky what right rear spring you're running, and if you like a left front tie down or where your brake floater angles are at, but that's not what I'm going to be asking. Little do people know, Ricky comes from a pretty humble beginning. He started in this guy's two-car garage, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And this guy puts in his homework. He's in that car doing the seat time. He runs his own setup. It's specific to him. He's got that gut feeling where he's not afraid to take the risk based on what he feels in the car and make that change. So what I'm going to ask these guys is, how old were you when you got the boys into the cars? Where did this all start? Because I know you guys come from humble beginnings, and you're just a gear oil family. So how did this all start?
Yeah, pretty much. Me and the wife both used to race. Tanya comes from a family of 5 brothers, and her sister, and her mom and dad, everybody has been into racing forever. And that's where I met her at. And I started racing in '85 in the stock cars. I got into the modifieds when they came onto the scene, like around probably 90, 91, 92. And yeah, we just worked out of a little old house with a one-car carport, open trailer, park it out in the street, nothing special. Jeremy, my oldest, started racing when he was 15, and then Ricky and his brother Justin started when they were about 14 and a half.
Wow.
We fudged it a little bit to get them into the pits so they could race, but yeah, they all started in stock cars and then just progressively worked their way up.
And that's I'm glad you did fudge it a little bit, because most people do know Ricky Thornton Jr. is one of the most talented drivers I've ever seen. I've seen him do some amazing stuff. Like I was telling you earlier, I saw him at Casa Grande just jump in somebody's stock car. He said, do this, do that, and then the thing was a rocket.
Yeah.
So he really does listen to his gut instinct.
Yeah.
And where do you think that came from? Did that come from you, or is that just something that he was just born with?
I think between me and his mom, just giving him so much input when he was younger, he wasn't one of the kids that went down and just played with the others. He sat up in the stands, he watched the races, he knew what was going on. All 3 of my boys were out in the garage every night whenever I was working on the car, because she quit racing after she had Justin, so that was her last year, and the boys have just been there all the time. And Ricky really just caught on to everything that was going on and just paid attention.
Man, I did talk to Tanya earlier in the tour, and I know Ricky, I was surprised he didn't get a couple of the wins, and I said, what's going on, Mama? And he said, Ricky's in the garage right now grinding on this thing, and says, I just need to get this to go faster. And it just amazes me that talent that doesn't stop. You just keep pushing it. You're the one under the car. You're the one grinding on it. So tell me a little bit about that, because it just seems like you just got this natural knack for it.
Yeah, I'll say a lot of it's probably trial and error. I like a really tight race car. We got a new jet car this year, and just kind of changing the little small things kind of more suit me. I don't know, like my dad said, my mom and dad raced forever, so learned a lot, and we learned a lot of maintenance stuff too. We all joke, my dad used to loosen up bolts on purpose during the week, so we had to go out and find them. So I went to a driving school, it's probably 6-7 years ago now, and their biggest thing they preached was races are won in the garage. You got to have your stuff right before you get to the racetrack. So I just kind of try to concentrate on that and kind of go from there.
Yeah, and it shows. I know both your parents told me how much homework you do, and you're always watching and learning, and like you said, trial and error. It's seat time. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't realize, you guys, you come from humble beginnings. Sometimes people are saying, oh, he's some silver spoon kid. And that is so far from, so far from true. You guys are salt of the earth. You're out there, grinding on it since you were 13, 14 years old.
I'm pretty sure his spoon was plastic, not silver.
And it doesn't seem to bother him, because he's winning, still winning to this day, and not looking back, which is just awesome. I'm so excited to see what you guys do tonight, and it's awesome to have senior and junior here, knowing how you guys all began, and in your home state of Arizona. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that.
Yes, I knew it was time for me to retire when we were in Las Cruces, and he lapped me about 10 years ago, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
But what a a life monument to have. To get lapped by your son is I'll take that any day of the week.
Right.
Now, we were talking about it just a second ago before we started filming. It was recently announced there's going to be another Thornton boy joining the clan. Are you going to do exactly what your papa did and get him in a car, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, my fiance Shay, she's pregnant due at the end of July. I'm super excited. It's gonna be a boy. I don't know for sure how soon we get him in a car. I played baseball for 12 years, so I kind of like to go that route. Maybe keep him in sports and then race a little on the side. I loved baseball. So that was pretty much all we did whenever we weren't going to the races. So I'm sure we'll probably have him in a go-kart, but we're gonna be doing a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a bloodline that's got to carry on for sure. I mean, that's super cool.
I kind of screwed him on the baseball thing because he was right at that age where he could get into a factory stock and start racing, but he was so good at baseball. And I said, well, we could do both. Then it got to where, I don't want to practice baseball anymore. We need to work on the car. And then we were taking the car with us to the baseball games and leaving and headed to the racetrack. And
trying to do double.
yeah,
double
so
time.
there went the baseball.
And I'm not too sad for baseball because I love watching Ricky, and I remember being in San Diego. I told you this a few years ago, and I see some 20RT hats go by, and then I saw you guys at Casa Grande. I'm like, babe, that's the hat that we just saw all the way in San Diego, and your fans have really stood by you, and I know why. Your talent, like I said, is awesome, and you go to your own the beat of your own drum, which is super cool. And like I said, everyone's probably wanting me to ask you what right rear spring and all the setups and stuff, but it's particular to Ricky Thornton Jr. and it's obvious that he got that from home and from the beginnings, and you guys making him nut and bolt that car, and you're not going out there unless you do it yourself, and you're still doing it to this day.
Oh yeah, and him and his brothers are so competitive at everything they do, so having them race together, when they were all racing at the same time, really made each one of them better at what they're doing, because it's just that competitive edge.
That healthy competition,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they looked out for each other. Yeah. What has been I know my favorite race of yours was the night that you won, but what has been your favorite race and track so far on this Arizona Mod Tour?
I'd say probably Casa Grande the first night. I didn't win it. I think we ran third that night. Started 19th.
You came up
So,
back.
I mean, we came a long way. We were kind of had our head down after the heat race because we didn't do so good, but then we ran really good in the B and then really good in the main. And I'd say I probably had more fun being able to pass cars than starting up front and just kind of walking away. Casa Grande is one of those places, like, it's not always slick, but it's not always hammered down either. So it's kind of like always a transition stage, and it usually promotes really good racing.
Yeah, that was an awesome race, and you get through traffic better than just about anybody else I've ever seen. So that's always fun. And watching you get to the front the other night was pretty awesome too. We were just like, did that just happen? We were in the infield, so that was cool. And I know your whole family was screaming for you. Yeah. So as a dad, I know you mentioned having him lap you was pretty sentimental. Yeah. So starting where you guys started from, just a 2-car garage, you and your mom and the boys, what would be just that highlight for you on his career?
I think he wants the same thing that I want for his career highlight, would just be to get a good late model ride, still play with the modifieds, but to get into like a Lucas Oil or an Outlaw and to see him go out and at least win one of those shows to start it off would be awesome. And it's just, we're waiting on that break one day.
I know Royce and I talk about that all the time. Every time we watch you from home and we're all screaming, we're like, why is this guy is so talented? Like, why is this not happening? So I know all of us at home, we want that for you too, because the talent is clearly there, the hard work, the homework's there, the humble heart's there. So I really hope that for you guys too, because it'd be phenomenal to watch. we all like, yes. And like I said, all those 20RT hats I see in the grocery store, they all want it too. Thank you so much, guys. I know you got to get grinding on the car and get ready for the big show here at Cocopah Speedway. I'm Holly Henry with Speedway 360. You can catch us on Cocopah TV on YouTube. You can also catch us on the Cocopah Facebook page on Facebook. And I will see all of you guys in Victory Lane.